Alright. Excuse me. Hi everybody, this is Joshua Kirk back with you once again. Time for episode 5 of Album of the Day. Once again, as you can see, I'm in a different location, just like the last two episodes, other than my bedroom. On episode 3, I was in a hotel room. In episode 4 that I did a few days ago, I did it in my parents' bedroom. And then for episode 5, I'm doing it in the same place where episode 4 took place, here in my parents' bedroom. Besides, we got a friend staying over once again, sleeping in my room, and I'm sleeping in my parents' bedroom throughout the week, up until tomorrow, when I get to sleep in my own bed again. But anyways, for today's episode, today's artist is a group from Boston, Massachusetts. A friend of mine that me and my mom are particularly fans of. My mom has known him since 2005, when I was about 4 years old back then. But I never really discovered them until late 2007 or early 2008. When I heard Glassjaw Boxer released in 2007, and that was when I fell in love with the group and started listening to the rest of their albums. And the band is called Stephen Kellogg and the Sixers, led by Stephen Kellogg, a singer-songwriter and guitarist his career has been around for quite a while, since the 1990s, when he started out doing solo records. Probably my favorite solo record is Lucky 11. Also have South of Stephen 2, released in 2000. Lucky 11 was released in 2002. Then he started releasing albums with the Sixers, starting out with Bulletproof Heart in 2004, then a self-titled album in 2005, Glassjaw Boxer in 2007, The Bear in 2009, which has been quite a breakthrough hit thanks to the success of the first single, Shady Esperanto in the Young Hearts, which is probably one of my favorite pop songs in 2009, in my opinion. Now they're back with a fifth album released on October 11th, 2011. The album is called Gift Horse. As you can see, I have it on CD here. This is released on Vanguard Records record label. As you can see, there's a new logo for it on there. This is their second album on Vanguard Records. The first one was The Bear, released a few years ago. Back when Vanguard was still on their old logo. Without the horse and the guy in the cowboy hat on it. The reason I'm reviewing this album for Album of the Day is because this week it celebrated its 1 year anniversary yesterday, on October 11th, 2012. And this album, the reason I'm reviewing it, the reason I'm reviewing a lot of these albums that I talked about in the first 4 episodes, is because I originally thought one of their older albums would be my favorite. I originally thought Glassjaw Boxer would be the best, since I've heard it since I've been listening to it since 2008. But I've decided that Gift Horse is probably their best album, because it's definitely a great album if you're looking for an album that's full of creativity, emotion, and some great songs to sing along to. Here's the cover of it. Spine. Other spine. Then there's the back of the album. Songs on here are Gravity, Who We Are, Who We'll Become, Long Days, Fast Years, 1993, Charlie and Annie, Song for Lovers, We Belong Here, Watch You Grow, My Favorite Place, Roots and Wings, and Noel Noel. The reason I'm kind of going a little fast here is that the battery's kind of low, so I better complete this video before the battery completely wipes out and cuts off the video. Produced by Mark Weinberg, who also was doing a little co-writing on the album too. And he's also worked with a lot of other people on the Vanguard Records label, like with Matt Nathanson, and there's other artists that have moved to Vanguard Records too. So there's a lot of bands these days that are moving to different record labels. Excuse me. Labels these days, which is kind of odd, but I don't mind if they move to new record labels, as long as they still have the same style that they do. Even if they're trying out new things. Like, I think this album is definitely a great album creativity-wise, because Andrew Smith did all the mixing, collaborated on the album, playing several instruments. And I feel like he made the Sixers sound better than ever, in my opinion, than they did in the past. So trying out new things, trying out new instrumentation, whether it be, like, extra string arrangements. Like, there are a few songs that kind of have a string ensemble inspired by Queen. And then, they got extra pianos and organs and synthesizers, all these different keyboard instruments, electric piano too. Anyway, here's the inside of the album. Credits. Really cool artwork. There's a picture of the band on there, and then all the thank yous. Inside is the lyric booklet. I'm going to show that to you before I show the CD itself. Lyrics of the first two songs. There's the end of the booklet. And let me show you the CD itself. There's the CD itself. Nice blue on there. So that's the inside of the album. And I already mentioned a lot of the keyboard instruments used on this album. There's like a variety of them. Because usually what you would expect is basically nothing but piano and organ, but they got all these other things that sound kind of cool, actually. They got other things going on here, like they got some vibraphone on a couple of songs, a glockenspiel, a country-ish banjo on one song too. Just a lot of instrumentation on it that makes this album a little more diverse and a little more mature than the Sixers' earlier work that was very sunny. This is still as sunny as that, just as different. It opens with the song Gravity, which is the first single, and this is easily my favorite song on the album. Catchy, upbeat song. It's sort of this hand-clapping, foot-stomping kind of romper. Like, I like the tambourine and this sort of, like, clappy thing going on. Not sure what it is. Like, I love the way the song was recorded. Like, probably the sunniest song on the album, as well as the most upbeat track. And I kind of see why they made this the first single, because it's catchy enough that it can be a single. And, The next song is called Who We Are, Who Will Become, which got an interesting thing going on the drums. Like a drum sound that I really like to hear. Basically where they got the floor toms, basically the kind of groove where they've got the floor toms, and it's got sort of the stomping thing going on. The same thing happens on the song Charlie and Annie, which is one of my favorites, and Roots and Wings, which is another great song, which has a more rock feel than it is like a pop song. Because usually the Sixers stuff is kind of poppy, especially with all the piano and organ and all the giddy up. Stuff like that. There are more piano-driven tracks on here too. Charlie and Annie, We Belong Here, and My Favorite Place. My Favorite Place is an amazing song. I love the lyrics and the way they're presented on the song. If you listen to the lyrics, I could swear Stephen Kellogg is probably singing about New York City. Like, on a lot of the lines, like, I gotta get back to the city where the sound is the subway at night. And, like, he's, like, talking about the city, and he's, like, talking about how it makes him feel good. Because, you know, everybody has a place where they just feel good. It looks like Stephen Kellogg is talking about Manhattan, talking about how much it makes him feel like he's free. Kind of like in the lyric. You can see that in the lyrics pretty much. 1993 is kind of a fun, rocking kind of song. Song that sounds like it could be played in like a house party or something. Especially when all these like people especially with all these samples of all these people raising their glasses and basically clapping their hands and basically cheering up. Like, the song sounds as if it were recorded in a house party or something, especially with all those samples. And it's a great song because it's just a fun tune. Excuse me. Sorry for the coughing in this video. It's a cough drop, so I'm good. Long Days, Fast Years, kind of a folk and country feel to it. Because it's got like a banjo that sounds very welcome in the track, and you can totally see the emotion in the lyrics. So the band is sort of proving to people, to a lot of the fans that music isn't really as different as they think if you cut it apart and put it and sort of hear the emotions behind the music. So they sort of combine together like R&B, rock, pop, folk, country, and like elements from styles like that. And Watch You Grow is probably my second favorite song on the record because it's just a catchy tune. It's sort of it's like sort of another sunny, feel-good tune. Has kind of a reggae feel to it, which I wouldn't expect these guys to use in their music, but it actually sounds pretty good. It sounds kind of reggae-ish, especially with like the wonk wonk thing going on on the guitar on this song. Really cool. Song for Lovers is kind of a sadder song. Even though it does make me feel emotional a little bit when I listen to it, it actually makes me feel emotional in a good way. It's actually a really good song and happens to be one of my favorites on the album. Probably my favorite part of the album is when you get to tracks 5 and 6, Charlie and Annie and Song for Lovers, because you really feel the emotions behind the tracks. And the last song is called Noel, Noel, which basically is nothing but Stephen Kellogg on singing alone on a guitar. Basically, the key to it all is basically the lyrics. Like, I don't know if she wrote it for a girl or a daughter or a new baby. All that I can see is that the song is sort of like, you can feel the emotion behind it. It's a beautiful song in my opinion, even though it's just vocals and guitar and that's it. So nothing else other than the lyrics. This album, I think, is very, very good. My favorite track is called Gravity. My second favorite is Watch It Grow. Other favorites that I have on the album include My Favorite Place, Roots and Wings, Who We Are, Who Will Become, Charlie and Annie, Long Days, Fast Years, 1993, and Song for Lovers are probably my favorite tracks on on the record. It's a little more guitar driven. Like, you can really hear the electric guitars popping up on this album. It has a nice mix of acoustic and electric guitars on all these songs. It just sounds really cool. I don't know why, but that's been one of my favorite combinations. It just sounded so cool to me because of the balance between both of those kinds of instrumentation. Acoustic and electric instrumentation, that's a lot of what I'm hearing on this album. More emotions behind the lyrics, like more lyrics about breakups, God, heaven, and angels, stuff like that. I'm gonna give this album an 8 out of 10. It's just a great album. And that's it. And I'm gonna wrap it up here for episode 5 of Album of the Day. Episode 6, that's currently unplanned. I promise I'll do more videos soon. Like, I know I'll do more comparison videos for movies, do more random updates, videos like that. So stay tuned for my next video. But anyways, bye everybody.